All right, this is my 60th video, and in this video, as you can see, I've been making a lot of videos. It's because I know that there'll be a time I won't be able to make a video. As you can see, I'm by my door, and this is in hope that my perps make the noise campaign. As I'm saying that, I can hear somebody say it did. You know, I'll reassure you, if I open the door, you'll see nobody there because they'll close the door. But the reason why I'm making reality checks, not reality checks, sorry, videos about my testimony, is because I know time for me is going, this is limited. And so I understand that they are doing their best to really make me hard to function, and who knows if I'll be able to speak and say what they're doing, and how illogical and irrational, and how my perps are almost damn near, I don't want to say, but on the spectrum, or at least they have to be on the spectrum to make me subscribe to this. As I'm saying that right now, I'm hearing somebody whispering outside of the door and trying to say things in order to interrupt me. And just because I want to talk about how they try to make me subscribe to this memory manipulation by using the people who are even responsible for me being in this program. Like I said, my first employer put me in this program, right? This employer is a very well connected employer, very much connected, and very much on the conservative things of the government. But they're very well connected, and that's why I'm here. The funny thing, and not even the funny thing, the ironic thing is these people were trying to play the progressive group. They're trying to make these people themselves be like we're this feminist activist group to, and reality is the people who put me in this program are far from that. Matter of fact, um, they ended up donating a lot of money to a alleged pedophile that picked up kids in YMCA's and other places, and that's why they can't even say his name, right? It's because I guess there's some, you know, they have problem with there's for some reason or another. If I say his name to one of the perps, they will turn completely red, as if I said somebody's it's blasphemy, and so that's when you know how things are how things like how ironically things are happening. And on top of that, finding that um, these people have a bunch of pedophiles work in these agencies, and these bottom feeders work for them. It's fun. Another funny part, as I'm going through these articles of all these pedophiles and in these agencies, finding out that one program manager at DARPA was caught with child porn on his computer. You understand? DARPA has about 200 and something program research and development programs, which I'm sure this is part of. And finding that the people really behind the walls, really in charge of things, have pedophiles and have pedophilia issues, while these people are trying to make you subscribe to it, it's comical. So I think you heard some noise campaign because they're trying to interrupt this. One thing the way they make me subscribe to this thing, or try to make me subscribe to, is like, oh, so they will manipulate my memories, and create sensation stimulation that weren't there before, and add those sensation stimulation into a memory. There's something, they make me think I watched and I was laughing about it, and now they're like changing it to something else to create changing it into stimulations to create their narrative, and to be like, oh, we proved it. I want, this is what they do. They live off a reality they've created. That's their job. That's their assignment. But the job is to also make me subscribe to it. I understand these people are hired to make me accept to this narrative. So that when they do whatever they do to me, they can be saying we're doing it because of that. We've proved it. Oh, I watched you getting tortured. Well, what else would you be doing? Um, and it's so sad. They're very pathetic people. It doesn't like you don't. The technology is very sophisticated, but the people really have to dumb themselves down. And so the reason why I make this video is to target individual. Your The logic and rationality is going to fade away. And I'm making videos now when I'm able to understand how illogical things are. The way they are trying to make me subscribe to something is like I said, my first employer put me in this program. I remember working there, and then as I started working there, I knew something was happening to the point when I even talked to the HR people there. I talked to the manager. I was like, "What is going on? People are treating me differently." It was so obvious that this is when everything started. And they would say things sometimes that would disturb me. Like it was, at some point they even called me a monkey or something. Like they were saying things to just kind of the purposely say things to kind of annoy me, agitate me. They'll say, "Oh, this guy is not safe," or this. They'll say all these kind of things. But one thing one guy said, and this is funny because this person came late in the company, maybe a year or two after before I left, and very interesting looking person. Matter of fact, one might call him creepy looking. Uh, guy who definitely had problem with alcoholism, and looked very interesting. Older gentleman, and kind of interesting, and you know, and but me initially I was like, okay, you can't always judge somebody by the way they look. Maybe this guy's interesting. He's kind of funny, but he's definitely interesting individual. But he was, of course, involved. Everybody in the office were involved in it. And I know it's because the VP in this company put me in this program. The VP in this department put me in the program, and he was the. It's funny because you know who's in charge because the less they do, the more in charge they are. And so my VP, who's, oh my gosh, if I show the picture, I'm not going to. This man looks like he is a villain in a movie. Like he is like the. It's just incredible that things happen this way. But the way they try to make me subscribe to this is like one day I was sitting in my cubicle, um, looking. I have a cubicle and corporate world, and one of this guy who's older gentleman got up, walks next to, walks to the next cubicle. Did you hear that? There's no campaign. They try to interrupt me. Uh, go to next cubicle and talks to this coworker of mine. She was gaslighting me to the nth degree. And he started talking to her, as you can hear the noise campaign because I'm gonna say something they don't like to hear. And he looks at her and talks to her. I don't know what they're talking about. And he says something. You know what? I don't know if I can do this pedophilia thing. And then walks back, and I'm like, what are they talking about? And obviously, at this point, I figured that they were doing something, right? And the way that obviously they were prepping me, or not prepping, they were prepping for me to be in this program and go to the next stage where they're gonna take over my brain and manipulate me this way. But they're like, these people, when they do the manipulation of my memories, they're like, you know what? They saw your memories and they noticed that these pedophilia patterns were wanting me to accept these manipulations. When in reality, these people from day one job was to break me down. This is the reason why I'm in this program. This is not they weren't here to figure me out, right? They were trying to to slander me. This early stage was a lot of slander that I didn't even know what was happening, but I realized all along they were just kind of slandering me. I was not being manipulated. My brain wasn't manipulated. I was normal, but now they manipulate my memories. They will say things. They will do things that I couldn't understand. I would see, for example, there will be some of my coworkers coming, and it's very corporate, family oriented place, and the family will come, the coworker with the family, and walk through every cubicles, and you have interaction with them. It's like, hey, and one of my coworkers and came to my cubicle with her child, her and her husband. I try to be pleasant. I talk to everybody. I talk to the child. Hey, and try to have interaction, and then they walk to the next cubicle and so on and so on. And then out of nowhere, I see one of my coworkers come. She's dressed a little bit subjective, and she started walking like cat walking next to me, and I'm looking at her, and I'm like, what is going on here? And it looks super weird. It's like, what is she doing? It's like so weird. And she stopped and she posed and I'm like, what is going on here? And then she goes back. So I find it very bizarre. And What they're doing now is so they're like, no, what they were doing, mind you, this is a corporate that sells stuff. And they're like, no, they were just trying to compare the way you look at her and the way you look at the child, and and they try to connect this thing together, seeing if there were similarities in the way you look at it. This nonsensicalness. And now they give me stimulations. Now, you understand, these people that where I worked was a place where they sell things. These people are not in the government investigating. No. So they were already creating a false narrative. And now I realized that, right? I realized that looking back, it's like, oh, they were trying to make some false narrative going on. It was happening there. They were creating a false narrative. They're trying to make it seem like they were. First of all, these people are not investigators. We're talking about we're in marketing, or we are. This is these people are not. They figure out how to sell things, not how to analyze. Like these people are so. It's so insane that they're trying to even make sense. I know these people. They sell objects. They're not here to analyze brain patterns. And no. So as I'm saying that they're trying to make it sound like it makes sense. Let's just say they're selling like chairs. Why would somebody who sells chairs will analyze your brain? Or not even chairs, like plants. If I'm selling plants and all of a sudden I'm investigating, like what nonsensical. I mean, and so that's why you hear this noise campaign outside, and that's why I'm purposely sitting by the door, because I want them to make the noise campaign on purpose to give you a bit of an idea of how things happen. I want them to make the loudest noise so I can depict the nonsensicalness of the whole thing here. Why would somebody who sells, let's just say, um, um, I'm going to say something else because I don't want to actually say what they sell. Gym equipment will just start like analyzing your brain. Like these people, it's obvious. You sell gym equipment, so now you want me to think that you're an investigator? And they're like, oh, marketing. You have to. This, oh gosh, please. And marketing selling gym equipment is not somebody who does investigations. You understand? And in my mind, they really are trying to make sense of this. So they were like, you see, they saw this, they saw the patterns, and because they read the patterns, I'm like, so a gym equipment company is looking at patterns in your brain to investigate. Yeah, okay. How illogical do you want me to be? Are you sure that is not the program where they put people in and then do the pedophilia type of tormenting? Or this gym equipment place is not investigating people's brain waves? What a nonsensicalness. These people really want me to let them live their fantasy. No, these people were creating a slanderous narration from the get-go, and I see that now. And now with these memories, they're manipulating my memories to add simulations where they weren't. They're using these people who are they were there to slander me, to create this false narrative all along, to make me accept these manipulations. And to find out with the validation I've had, this pedophilia type of slandering has been ongoing for years. And the manipulations. That's why you hear the noise campaign. They keep telling me how I'm going to get knocked out to stop me from saying these things. These people are very pedophilia centric. Matter of fact, my employer sponsored a pedophile after the allegation came out. These people were delusional. I know why I was putting this program, and let me reassure you, it was race based too. And I know that they're going to do the slanderous things to try to make you subscribe to it. Now, let me say something. Once you're in a program, race doesn't matter. The people who torment you can be your own family members. It could be your neighbors, it could be anybody, it could be people from your same race. The race has nothing to do once you're in the program. But the reason why I was put in this program is because these people wanted me out and were wanted to make me go out without having any issues. And so they put me in the program where they could come up with the whole narrative and nastiness. Not this gym equipment storage place does not investigate things or this, like, it's just nonsensical. But they're coming up with these storylines that at this point is like, how's on the spectrum am I supposed to be? And they create stories that narrations like, are you serious? So I should forget the actual pattern that this program has been implementing pedophilia type of tormenting for decades. Where I hear testimony as far as like 2007 mentioning that the pedophilia type of tormenting has been implemented on these people, women saying these things. But these people are investigating and put me in a program where pedophilia type of tormenting is the norm. Delusional. As I'm here, as I'm saying this, somebody outside like, oh, they're lying. No, 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 no. It makes a lot of sense. Target individual, you will be surrounded by people who are meant to break you down and gaslight you into this retardation. I'm sorry for saying that word, but it's literally that what it is. They implement this pedophilia type of tormenting. It is a tactic being used for so many. You hear that from target individual. You hear people being slandered into disgusting things, pedophilia, all this. They do the pedophilia type of torture. I've give you samples, but this nonsensicalness and the way they try to put these things together, knowing that there's so much validations in all the layers possible. They do the pedophilia type of tormenting. They do the pedophilia type of slander. They they have issue with pedophilia within those agencies that actually do this, manipulations. It is in every front. And you hear about people being put in this program by employers. What kind of slander do you think they have? It is obvious as it ever gets. Now, for these people who wants me to subscribe to this nonsensicalness, please. I know you have to make yourself as idiotic as you can, but I'm not gonna let you live your fantasy. Continue to create your fantasy, but I'm not gonna let you go and fantasize. That's why they use childlike people. Or the people who involve themselves, they have to make themselves childlike. I'm gonna make sure that to all my target individuals, do not subscribe to that. You are likely gonna be slandered in this pedophilia way. One. Then if you get the V2K, you will probably get some pedophilia type of tormenting. Two. Three, they try to make you accept this and create narration of all levels. Do not subscribe to any of that. This is for you to understand that you need to stay strong and do not subscribe to this nonsensicalness. Thank you, and know that justice will be done, and do not subscribe to this nonsensical, this sad, pathetic human beings trying to make you subscribe to this nonsensicalness. Let them be delusional as much as they want, but don't let them accept these manipulations. So stay strong and know that justice will be done.